Click.
That's it.
That's it.
We're up. We're live.
We're up. Welcome everyone to COZSNUG. Thank you so much for coming.
We'll make more seating available as
As we get more people, I guess.
Yeah, they've been trying to join us here. Who else is coming in? Cam's not coming in tonight.
And Kelly either?
Kelly, it's not? Oh, I didn't know Kelly wasn't coming. You alright?
Getting over some sick.
He's just sick.
The same as Cam. They're both kind of getting over some sick.
Yeah, Cam's just barely getting over his. Crystal's got a little bit right now. Well, and here we are.
Here we are.
COZSNUG ass. Well, tonight we were thinking about what to talk about. We're still open to whatever, but we do have a topic if nobody else has something that's prominent. Is there something that would be prominent on everybody's mind they want to talk about tonight? No? Okay. This is typically a night where we're just getting together, asking each other questions, learning how to become more inclusive in our capacity to just relate to things, be receiver instead of a resistor to the what is around us. To the what isness. So the focus on that one what isness is right in the middle of the word itself, COZSNUG. We've talked about this several times, but it's always worth bringing up because it's the constants that we're trying to point at, and that is that we're doing this because we believe every single one of us deserve to enjoy living. That's just something that is a novel concept to me when I figured it out, and it was when I was over 50 years old that I finally believed that. I'm like, that was a real deal for me. Like a lot of years not actually believing that everybody deserved to enjoy life. I didn't think I would deserve to enjoy it. I felt like I just had to suffer through, and I had to build up all this character of the ability to suffer and struggle. And
that's a belief that is exclusive from religious paradigms.
Yeah. Well, it was just my own world. It was just my own. All of it, all of the pieces. I now realize every single thing that I was believing all the way along the way is exactly how it's always gone. If I think there's going to be drama in my life, there's going to be some drama in my life.
Mm-hmm.
If because I'm actually just choosing to stay in that vibration, that's what I'm choosing to focus on, and what you give life to inside of your mind becomes a real thing, as long as you just keep giving it credence.
There's definitely some truth to that.
So now what do we want our lives to look like? Because we've all been stagnating for a long time. Well, a handful of us here have all said we want to start being more COZSNUG. And we want this to be, this is not just a thing. This is a brand new word that's been around for a minute now, and it's already gotten some traction now, and it's already being spread out now because of its value to humanity, we believe. It's a word that, like over in Germany, they have the word Gemütlichkeit. I'm not saying that pronunciation correctly. And over in Denmark, they have Hygge. These are relatability words, words that point towards some level of, hey, make yourself cozy, but not just cozy, hyphen, toward others. So now how do you actually become an increasingly relatable thing? Well, what we figured out is that you enjoy life in direct proportion to how much you're willing to be a relatable thing and actually collaborate. So how much bandwidth do you have for collaboration? And so we're all so different and so unique, but how much bandwidth have we built up for being able to just say, hey, I can receive from all those around me. Instead of being a resistor, I'm going to be a receiver. And so COZSNUG is all about the focus on right there in the middle of that, where the Z and the S meets, where the cozy and the snug meets, and the zzz. Any kind of a buzzing sound you hear, COZ. When you go COZ, when we first said it, we said COZSNUG. And the Z itself does that. And so it felt awesome. But seeing it, we told it to Link, and Link said, what if we just said COZSNUG? And the second it happened, it just pronunciated the zzz, it got deeper into the vibration.
I think we were in the basement at Ashton's. I saw it on the whiteboard. And I said, COZSNUG, what's that? And you're like, COZSNUG? that's better than what we were saying.
Exactly. No, it was, yeah, it was right. It was similar. We were in the basement. We were right there in the surrender lab. Yeah, we were walking in, or we were standing up, I remember. Anyway, in our beautiful co-created experience so far. So, Koj, and the focus on the zh puts us into a place where it's just a little bit more cozy, but you're also okay if everybody else is a little bit zh as well. So COZSNUG is cozy and snug put together. Drop the Y, just soften and make that ZS a zh, COZSNUG. And it's a way that we can actually now emphasize that we actually respect the concept of inclusivity. We respect the idea of our oneness as well. Because we all know that we're me's, pretty obvious, bunch of me's running around. I'm a this one, you're that one. But there's a whole bunch of we running around too. Some of us are more aware of our we-ness. That sounded really good. That was funny. Forgive us, scratch that.
Roll it.
Keep it rolling. The fact that we can be a we at the same time. I'm both. I can be both all day long if I want. I can be a we and a me all day long. I'm just learning how to be a better partner with myself, which shows me the skills constantly of relatability. And so, what I personally have been leaning into is the maximization of my relatability, so much so that this experience that I had, I probably told several of you before, that I had this experience in a Zen pool where I was the only one there for this hour, and there was this orange dragonfly going around the outside of the pool, just clearly, constantly observing me and landing in these same spots. And so for like 45 minutes, I'm like, all right, I've just been learning to meditate here. I'm gonna draw this thing in. I gotta just really try to. So I just tried to keep myself really perfectly still, and tried to put my finger really super slow. And I did all these things to make sure it knew that I was focused on it. And for like 45 minutes, I draw this thing in. For the last 15 minutes, I danced with this dragonfly right here above my head, and we laughed and we danced 15 minutes worth of just exuberant joy. So much. It changed my life. So much changing my life. That moment taught me how to become a little bit more dragonfly. And that dragonfly taught me a lot about how fucking unrelatable I am. We are, all of us, until we decide that we're just going to do the real brave thing and face our full self. Every single person in front of me is just an outward little projection of an inward belief bubble that then gets inverted and magnified right out. And belief bubbles, everybody's walking around with their belief bubbles, and they keep us bang up against each other instead of just realizing, oh, tell me more about your deal. Oh, tell me more. As soon as I start receiving, oh, it's easier. Oh yeah, I don't have to hang on to all this, so much story to hang on to if we're just clinging to our past. I get to pull from my past anytime I want to. I'm going to pull from my past and harness all the stuff that I've built up. But I know that the most power resides in my nowness, my presence. I have no power outside of my presence. It's where I've decided to actually put all my intention right now. So am I doing it intentionally or not? Is life happening to me, or am I just realizing that I'm actually doing this? And so you got to learn how to penetrate this little place where you learn how to basically get and make this. Now it's easier to get through, but at the same time you make this all strong and aware of itself to where it like keeps on going and keeps on going and keeps on going out to the very, very edges, to where you get into a place of you realize what it means to be flowing one with everything more. because you're just better at it than you ever used to be. And you're just more aware than you ever used to be of all kinds of unawarenesses that you had, lack of awareness of your impact. And you see more of the me in all of it, and the we in all of it, and all of it's just my experience. Everybody has their own experience. And the second that somebody else starts talking, why wouldn't I just really start to really find out whether there's something there for me or not? It's always something there for me. I get to take my awareness anywhere else I want to, but why wouldn't I get the thing before I leave? Why not constantly give to myself, constantly get self-care, constantly self-love by seeing the beauty in every single thing around me? And just keep on becoming an increasingly beautiful, more beautiful thing, because it's just in my ideation of, like, here's what I'm going to become. And so I'm becoming more beautiful all the time, and I'm becoming more like a dragonfly all the time. It's really cool. I love it. I feel like the dragonfly represents COZSNUG in a way that I'll at some point I'll write something on this, because I won't say any more about that right now, because I just want to I have an art piece that I'll put out, and
Thank you for sharing, Ken. Like, I really appreciated the emotion that you just displayed telling that story. Like, it's really, really cool.
thanks, buddy.
Authenticity.
Oh man, I want to.
You do.
I want to say so much about it. I don't know. Yeah, I will do this soon, because we haven't been focused on this enough. But tonight, this is a perfect little segue for us to roll right into tonight, what we're talking about tonight. This is a night where we're going to just talk about, and we're going to pick apart the whole concept of false empowerment versus true strength. What does it mean to actually roll into true strength? How to tap into it? Where is it at? How do we navigate it? How do we sustain that? How do we get the pieces connected? How do we not just like get glimpses, but how do we now start to get continuity and momentum and wind in our sails? I have been learning how to do this to some level, and it's just so liberating. I don't have all the answers at all, but I have really cool experience that if anybody wants to tap into, there's a lot of us that enjoy cool things together now because we're doing cool stuff. And oh my gosh, Link, we should have brought out Link just bought more of those little massagers. Have you guys seen those little personal massagers from the little sharper image one? They're selling at Costco. We had to bring them out. We have 3 of them here in the house right now. We're trying to actually show that concept that that when we're actually focused on caring about the relatability piece, that in and of itself is going to give us a bunch of benefit, because that in and of itself, that focus right there on the we, is this spot where I'm talking about right here, where we push through, where we're just me's, we're just me's, we're just me's, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, now I see what you mean by. It's so easy to understand. There's no thinking about it. It's just so understandable. I see my complete equanimity with every single thing around me. I see my oneness with all this. I see that I'm projecting. I know that I'm those plants as well. I'm all this. I am the furniture. I'm just accepting all of this. Now that I've accepted all of it, once I'm there, now what do I want my story to look like? Now we get to ask ourselves, now what do we want our story to look like? So I don't want my story to just be my story anymore. I think that, I don't want to get into it all tonight, but I experienced enough to know that I've started a new life, and that new life includes so much difference than what has been in my life in the past. And the biggest difference is that I all day long am looking for co-creative experience. Looking for co-creative, I'm looking for collaboration, I'm looking for new novel experience, and when people want to do that kind of anything, isn't that what life's all about? We're learning how to network. There's no hierarchical thing. Everybody just has a different set of things, and it's all completely different and unique, and it's all completely valuable if I want to just simply receive instead of act like well, yeah, but they still don't have this kind of skill yet, obviously. I mean, what kind of a jerk would I be to walk around?
Nobody's flown a hot air balloon. It doesn't mean we're not getting one.
I mean, we do need to get the hot air balloon so soon. COZSNUG's just going to go, it's already going.
Yeah.
We just need to widen the gap. We just need to open the pipe, make the flow through the middle of it stronger and stronger and stronger, so there's more and more people. Right now, there's a gal up in Lava Hot Springs. I don't know if she would want me to say her name, but she tells us that she's been saying COZSNUG to the people that comes into her shop, teaching them the new word, teaching them about it as they go. People that come into this town, this tourists coming and going, and people all over the world right now. We don't know how far it's gone, but we do know that the more energy we put behind it, the more emphasis we put behind the concept itself, the more it actually seems to carry us and give us more of what we're looking for, but in like these surprising ways. You guys know what I mean? Like this, what a gift it is to all of us to be able to be here.
Let's kind of go back to false empowerment versus true strength, and kind of I kind of draw a hard line in my own opinion, so I'm going to share my own opinion on this and see what you guys think. I really think that true strength comes from within. So that's really wide net I just said, so let's kind of nail that down. What does it mean to go within? What is within? You know, when I think of when to go within and find your true strength, you know, that's the kind of thing of why do you wake up every morning? What inspires you? What do you love? You know, where is that place of what do you unconditionally love and how can you widen that? You know, that's when I start looking at like, you know, that's my own inspiration, what I want to do. You know, you might want to be doing something else with your unique experience. So that's like, you know, it's kind of like direct, because it's like, oh my gosh, is anything outside of me false empowerment? I think it can be if you use it, depending on your intention. You know, if you use any tool, you know, you know that the power is inside of you. You can transmute any energy any way you want, and it's be any benefit you use depending on how intentional you want to be.
That's true.
Yeah. The reason the word false empowerment's on there is because it's just actually just not an empowering thing. It's a disempowering thing that is cloaked. That's why it's called false empowerment. And so every single person that tells you, you can get a certain amount of money if you do this, or you can get a certain amount of fame or likes or any amount of influence or any amount of external anything, isn't it all the same? Isn't it all until we just actually learn to take our awareness inward?
Not necessarily, because you can still take, you know, data from outside of yourself and like integrate it more into your skills.
Yes, I don't.
You know,
yes.
I think that was kind of not the best example. I was thinking more like,
False empowerment is self-gaslighting.
yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Yeah,
Willful self-sabotage.
giving your power away.
Willful,
you know,
yes,
what does
self-gaslighting,
it mean
yeah.
when you give your power away to something else? Like,
That means
I
to
don't know,
believe in a savior.
yeah, to believe in a savior.
An
Exactly.
external
An
savior.
external savior. You're externalizing your savior, which is actually inside of you. We learn that we all save ourselves as soon as we take our awareness inward. That's what you're doing. At any moment of inward focus, it's like, oh, there it is. Oh, wow, look at this. I'm healing everything right there. I just healed that whole entire area. Now I'm moving on to this area. I've healed that. The more you practice around with it, you're like, oh, I heal myself. Oh, we heal ourselves. Oh, okay, I guess we can start going live about this now, guys. This is where we go live every Wednesday. Our unwind night. We heal ourselves online. Because we just want to become more relatable. Because there is a difference between everybody who is false empowered right now. Look at how social media keeps them that way. Look how the news keeps them that way. Look how the banking system, the school system, and the systems and the economic system, all of it's been put together to prop up false empowerment. As soon as you realize it, you're like, okay, well, what's the alternative? Well, once you learn how to take your awareness inward, this is the heart and soul of this conversation tonight is, what does it look like in our lives right now to say, hey, what is the false empowerment versus the true strength that I'm really personally wrestling with? What are we dealing with in our lives right now that's so obviously where the battle becomes the most the most obvious? You guys know what I mean?
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
everyone's dealing with their own thing, so of course,
For me, it's sit in a box or keep moving. Like it's great to have a place, but I'm never at a place for very long anyway. So it's like a museum at some point, to some degree. It's like there's stuff there. It never moves. It's always there. It will be there for for a good minute, and occasionally it'll get a good dusting and whatever. So it's like wrestling back and forth, and I get more accomplished mobily, and
Because you like to feel productive.
Yeah, but there's also a lot that needs to be done at a studious approach.
So yeah, tell me more. What do you mean?
There's a lot of reading and study and things that could be caught up on.
Oh, gotcha. So you got like what kinds of things right now are you back like that you want to study more?
I still want to read the Bhagavad Gita. That's a pretty big one to chew on. And I've already got a copy of that. I mean, I've got a copy of a bunch of things I want to read. Brahmaling the Mage this was probably the next one on the list. There's some reflexology books I'm kind of getting through. Some Eastern stuff, Confucian, and Tao stuff. I don't know. I've been nibbling on things a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, I really should probably sit down and actually do some reading and heavy reading.
Cool.
Get back into the thesaurusing between belief systems and ideas and perspectives and conscious states.
This is
cool.
Fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
that sounds really cool.
I enjoy
Because
that.
I've done an incredible job with what I have learned, but I still like Eastern stuff, like the Hindu stuff and some of the Buddhist stuff that I probably could stand to learn a little bit more vocabulary, so that it can be more more intercommunicated, even more so.
Yeah. Well, I would love to sit down sometime. Kelly's been wanting to do this. Why don't we all get together for writing time? Frankie wants to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was? There was somebody else that just said they wanted to write with us right now. Well, let's just get this together. Why don't we just let's just find the best time for everybody. Let's put a group together. And it'd be fun to do and to share and bounce those words off your friends. When I was reading your book, I was like, what? Yes, I would love to sit here and devour more words from Link.
Because there are a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. It's like a never-ending flow of fire hose.
I just let the pen do the writing. The hand's just holding.
It's fun.
Does anyone have an example? I know we kind of talked about what false empowerment is. Do anyone have any examples in their lives of something they feel like, that you saw was falsely empowering you, and maybe you dropped it?
Things?
Yeah, like ideas or
No, I mean,
methods
things
or things.
specifically,
Yeah,
like-
things
like-
specifically.
Like I went through almost every piece of sporting equipment known to man through high school, just because I was like, "Ooh, I want to try that. I want to try that. I want to try that. I want to try that." Instead of like having the sense to go out and just check it out, I was like, I bought brand new stuff to go do it.
Yeah.
In high school, I'm like, what do I do with all this crap? Stuff.
Cool.
You get to thinking, oh, if I had that thing, I could, maybe get good at a thing. But then, man, there's all these other things that follow up the thing, and you end up trying a whole bunch of things and never. I guess a lot of us, none of them caught my interest enough to drag me in. But yeah, lacking some of the hobbies.
I think one of the some important falsely empowering things I really kind of had to wrestle through and drop was money. I really, I was raised, my dad loved money, so I just kind of picked that up. So I really thought I never was going to be happy unless I had a lot of money. And I never really reached that point I was imagined as a kid I thought I needed to be, but over time, it just was like I was never getting happier the more money I was making. I was like, oh, something's not right here. And that was really a hard thing I struggled with for a long time. Now I've had to, get reattached to money, can really figure out more balance in my systems about, how I interact with it. But at the time, I wanted to just drop it entirely. And at that time, it was really good for me. It's what I needed because I just was too in love with it. I needed to get away from that system for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that was definitely falsely empowering me because it was keeping me from seeing the art in the world. I actually had no attachment to art at all.
Keeping you from seeing the value in the world.
Yeah, literally. It was teaching me keeping from seeing the value in the world.
Because it postures as value itself, which it is not.
Exactly. That's the point. Yes. So anything. Yes. Well said, Link. Isn't it pervasive? Isn't it every single where we look? Isn't it every? I mean, how is this not a big conversation? This is not like the heart and soul of like what humanity's wrestling with right now.
Celebrity marketing.
That's a good topic.
Yeah, I mean,
that's like blatant and intentional false empowerment.
Yeah.
So obvious. It's like how, yeah.
Gosh, just scrolling on your social medias, these AIs are just trying to keep you engaged, and that how much false empowerment is going on is to make you feel like you're being productive looking at this. There's so much.
Man, they are failing miserably on me. I haven't even opened Instagram in months.
I'll say one. One for me, I think, especially lately, I've been struggling with is time for myself. I find that I feel better, or I feel like I am better if I'm spending all my time doing things for other people or things that are deemed productive by the world.
So this
that I'm not a
belief
part
that
of.
you have.
Yeah, that my time spent, if it's not by their standards, doing something that's amazing for them, it's not good. I'm not living my life how I should.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been trying to take more time to just reflect and be like, what do I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Ashton was saying, like the money thing. Like I really struggle with that too. Like I feel like if I'm not working 100% all the time, I'm just wasting my time, wasting my life. So trying to find that balance of being me and doing my things on my time and not worrying about what other people think about my actions.
Mm-hmm. Very well put. It's a big one to face because
it's kind of plays in a little bit with mine. What do I rather be doing? Well, I think I need to study, so it's time to do that.
Where's your favorite place to study, Link? Like in a hammock out of Devil's Playground?
Hammock. Hammock is one of the easiest places to read, especially for your neck.
It's kind of nice because the book is being supported by you.
And you're already got your.
All you do is just hang on like that, and it's kind of effortless to just.
Yep.
And there's just nice natural light during the daytime. There's this nice ambient light in there that gets created from the.
I would say that maybe the only other easier place to read would be like projector on a wall with a scroll it on a mouse. That'd be pretty easy too.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, as your eyesight, yeah, you just dial in like, hey, let me just project that up there real fast and just scroll through it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of fun. We can make that technology happen real quick.
His
I already got it.
living room.
You already got this.
I already got this.
Oh, fun. I'm gonna come and visit you.
There's a hole in the ground.
Step through it a little bit.
One I had to let go was people pleasing and attention.
Mm-hmm.
Attention was a big one for me, so I self-isolated for a long time. I think I went from one extreme to the other. So, but as of recently, I've been coming more and more out of my shell. So, constant work on it and awareness of it.
What did that time do for you? How would you say it?
It's changed a bunch in me. Just, I don't know, I think I was kind of a dick.
Plainly put, I was quite the dick in life.
I mean, I was for a long time, and I always needed somebody else's approval.
The people pleasing thing was a real strong one.
But
That's a tough combo.
and at first,
Yeah.
the biggest struggle was learning to be alone. That's one of the hardest things in the world I've ever done.
Yeah.
Is spending time alone, and it just so happened that I spent too much time alone. But breaking out of it's getting easier and easier.
Nice. Well, we're glad you're here, brother. It's so nice. You always had so much nice value. I love your energy so much.
It's a comfortable place to be.
He brought over these raw cacao beans. I mean, that we just cooked up. They smell like brownies. Did you see them on the stove, Brent? So that's the smell in here, everybody. It smells like brownies because we got raw cacao beans that just got cooked. That's nice. You just chew on that. Tastes like chocolate without the sugar.
Yeah, it tastes like chocolate without sugar. It's good.
Just add butter, just add sugar or something like that. Maybe a little
You make
vanilla.
chocolate.
Grind it up,
Easy.
grind them up, and put them in a little almond milk. Heat it up, throw a little cayenne pepper in there, and down
Mm.
warmth.
How you doing over there, Brandy girl?
I feel like a lot of false empowerment for me comes from labels. Like, people ask, what do you do? Who are you? And it doesn't matter what word you choose, it's a label. I mean, we all say, well, I do this for work, but that doesn't define who you are. But even, like, I grew up thinking, well, I need to have an education. I need to get a degree. Well, now what is that good for? It's a label. It's an experience that, yes, I can pull from, and I'm learning.
Well, and labels can become boxes.
Right, well, yeah,
For the people, some people that do that, that's what they think. Now that's what I have to do.
right.
You know, they just get, hyper focused into a trajectory, and that can be
Yeah.
limiting or even detrimental to what their true path might be.
Well, it
Yeah.
empowers the clinging itself. So the empowerment actually goes in the opposite direction to deepen the actual clinging. To make it harder to feel like it's harder to surrender because we dug ourselves in so much deeper. We just acting like we're more individual than ever. Well, that's the strongest I ever suffered was the most individual I ever was. Because I thought that independence was the best thing ever. Because self-sufficiency was the highest and best thing you could ever get in your life. That's what I always learned growing up, self-sufficiency. And I just held it out as this high ideal, because I was always so dependent and codependent that I didn't even realize that I wanted to get into this independence that was out in front of me. Not to realize that when you get there, you're like, what?
That's better than independence.
Huh?
Interdependence.
Well, yeah, but I like to even get rid of I don't like that word because I shouldn't say it. It says the thing,
Label.
yes, I agree with it, but the word itself is pretty limiting based on my experience.
Well, I mean,
Because there's no depending. I'm not depending on you when I'm actually co-creating.
Right,
I'm
so
more
it's-
focused on the co-creating part.
It's
So there's
finding
like this proactivity part of it that fits the vortex.
yeah, it's called freedom.
It's a happy medium with everything. Like, we want to be everything. We want to be lazy, we want to be proactive. But not completely all proactive, not completely independent, not completely self-dependent. Are those the same thing? Independent, self-dependent?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's
or
that medium of wanting to have little bits of everything, but in a very collaborative way. Like,
Well,
let's-
yeah.
if we are all compartmentalized schizophrenic versions of source self-discovering, then wouldn't it stand to reason that we would do that inside our own heads? Compartmentalize and then
and be narcissistic.
that's where
like the ego.
That's what we are.
the
The
most
ego-
self-loving act ever.
The ego is a part of us.
Yeah, we're absolutely, fragmented. You can go, from really sad to really happy in an instant. I'm sure, we've all gone through really harsh emotional swings doing whatever in our lives. And it's like, our minds really deal with every situation so differently. It's like you're almost a different person in every situation you deal with. I mean, you are really, if you want to go into
Right, but that one extreme that brings you to this other extreme, you're finding that balance in the middle. Which
Right,
is
yeah,
what
yeah. Yeah.
We're all trying
Randy's
to
definitely
get,
right.
try to get back to. And we all have a different understanding of every word. Like my understanding of love may not be someone else's, and when someone says, "What are you?" I'm love. Well, to them, to this person, to that person, it's a different explanation. So
Well, the Greeks had 8 different kinds of love, I believe.
Yeah.
I think it was 8.
But our focus here is not on any of that because it's all a distraction or a washed out version of the concept. There's a purity that we're pointing at right here. COZSNUG points towards the purity of actual love. Now, forget the word love because it's all charged and everybody has different. Now go to what it means in your life to take the most. What's the most loving vibration you ever felt? What's the most love you ever felt in your entire life? You can go back to that memory and try to channel it in and like try to bring it to you. Be one with it. Let it feel like it's like swelling up in your chest. Feel like it's just swelling up in your whole body.
what if that was being beat to death in the closet? Was what I thought love was then. So see, it could be a different.
Then if you're actually, you know what I mean though in context of this conversation, right? We're trying to say the most loving vibration you ever felt, the most care you ever felt from.
Caring. So yes, it's caring, loving, light,
But there's more.
giving,
It's
healthy.
I like the word unconditional love because it's really like direct, and it's like, does unconditional love exist? Can you feel that in yourself? And that's when you really start to get into that. And I don't.
that's the way to put the adjective on it that does it. It just makes it two words instead of one. Yeah.
I think kind of saying that like it's it's kind of
Which
washed
is-
out. I don't know if that's true because you can take
No.
the old Greek words like the agape or something that means unconditional love in Greek, but it's still old and washed out. Sure, because it's not used, but it still means the same thing.
Now, what I mean by washed out is by all of our versions of the so-called either love that we used to have someday in the past or some love that we might have someday. Any head stories that we have is what I'm pointing at. Any head story that we have is some watered down version of love. And it limits us to then say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and pray for you from a distance over here
Well, it's just
while
like,
you fix yourself.
Right.
well, it's just like words are just watered down version of an experience.
Yes.
Right, absolutely.
Same
You know,
concept.
they're-
It's all
they're-
us just
it's-
watering.
They never can be the thing because they're just not the thing.
Exactly. That's why I'm pointing us back to the concept. Because the concept is not all these other types of words and whatever.
Right.
Any potential variations you have on it. No, we're talking about one thing here. Pure light. Pure light. Pure light. Pure big huge ball of love and light. It's the strongest possible thing you can experience here. If there's something else, I want to know. Because it only keeps increasing once you discover it, and it's where you finally are empowered. And you now see that what everything is just love emerging. There are some of us that are resistant. And then in that moment that we're resistant, we're aware of our resistance to whatever level we are. And then we realize, oh yeah, it was always now to begin with. And I'm just denying myself what the higher version of me has in store for me right now. Just trust. Lean into trust. Let go of fear. Open up yourself. Open up your whole self to everything and become a relatable thing, because every one of us is benefited by it when we do it. Because we are actually all connected and actually having an impact on each other, and actually this is a lot more magical than we've been allowing for in our heads when we were denying our own magic inside. The magic's on the inside, everyone. It's on the inside.
It comes in many forms.
The big magic. And it comes in every form. Name one single extra person you find, oh, what's your magic? You can go and say that. They might not know how to relate to those words yet, but I'm telling you right now, you hang around them long enough and just receive, and you're going to find out their magic. Because they're just like, oh my, you just gifted that to, oh my God, yeah. Yeah, you're all so beautiful. Thank you for being magical little other dragonflies in my life.
Thank you for being perceptive enough to recognize it and for encouraging it, and
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
To kind of come back, that's why we made the word COZSNUG, because we wanted to be able to point at this very concept that we're talking about now.
love and light.
Yeah. What does it mean to be that? We have a long ways to go. I'm still just a middle-aged old fat guy, balding, hairy,
Turning gray.
turning all gray.
Gray.
I'm a ginger. I get a skip gray.
Well, no, I mean, it's outfit. It's all gray.
No, this has a real greenish
gray.
hue to it. This has a real bluish
It's
hue.
gray.
It was empowering empathy colors, babe. I did this on
Marker
specific.
It's gray.
In this lighting,
It's the lighting.
In this lighting, it's kind
I'm
of.
telling you right now, we go in the kitchen, you'll be able to see the intentionality of the subtlety of what I did.
Yeah, subtle. Yes, very subtle. Hit that on the mark. You were very subtle. Thank you.
Blue and green, baby.
You are magical in
Blue
the
and
subtle.
green. Rick and Morty, look at this.
Rick and Morty.
Well, no, that's a little bit. Is that yellow around the outside of that blue? Yeah. It looks green because of the yellow and the blue together.
It's green.
It's green.
Oh.
Neon.
Empowering empathy.
Let's just say it's blue and yellow,
There you go.
but really
There
green.
you go. Quit labeling it.
Yeah, now it's like so part of the.
Yeah.
It's so part of the OG culture of COZSNUG now. Like Rick and Morty is forever attached somehow.
Well, this Rick and Morty is like a fractal in its design. Like it will never end. It will never run out of content. It's.
Well, it's a pretty design that way.
Yeah, it goes on and on like a down the fractal. You can just keep going, whichever
I'm just Ricking.
Any what way.
I'm Ricking.
Yeah. And you don't even ever have to go backwards, even though there's all that you didn't go to as well. You just keep going forever.
Right.
And yeah,
Never ending journeys.
Rick and Morty has the potential to
Rest and
never
regret
end.
regrettation.
Well, what else? What else would be fun? You know what would be so nice is to be able to have, when we're going live, we can't just be running music because then
Oh, yeah.
the copyrights for all the music. It's like,
copyrights,
how do we get around that?
Did the last one get?
No, because I barely turned it on at all.
No. I mean,
Oh.
when the bedroom was playing. And,
Oh, no, I didn't.
okay,
That's
cool.
not- That's funny, yeah, I forgot about that.
I wasn't sure if that picked up.
Well, the
what's
solution there
the-
would be to make your own.
Well,
Sorry.
we have to find good music. We just have to find some artists that would let us use their music. You could just ask artists.
Yeah, we know so many different artists. Yeah, we can just curate a cool playlist.
And what's the worst that's going to happen? People are recording stuff all the time when there's background music at parties and stuff. And what's the worst that can happen? It gets taken off whatever we're showing it on. But we're not on
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook and we're not on TikTok.
Why don't we bring
So-
in live music? Somebody, if we're gonna go on live, well, they can tell their audiences. Why don't we go live? Why don't we bring an hour worth of conversation? They join us. We conversation with the band, and then the band plays for us for an hour afterwards.
Yeah.
Hour and a half set or
We
something.
could do that. Not
We know a
this
lot of local
living room,
artists.
but-
Well, we can meet other places. Right now, Jason would probably love to have a party at his house.
Yeah, he's probably,
Live
So
band.
time,
he's probably
yeah.
listening. Yeah, listen to that, honestly.
I love that idea.
All right, this is definitely going to start happening. We need to start doing something on the weekend like this. What if Saturday nights become a night where we start to do something? Surrender Saturday turns into something better.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about that.
Because the evening time would then be like, we can lean into dance, we can lean into contact improv, we can lean into...
Like what weekends are usually anyway,
Right,
but with intent.
Yeah.
right.
With the med.
The all-powerful intent.
I think improv would be fun.
Yeah.
Yes! Yes, yes, yes.
I think we should try a lot of things.
Yeah.
Why don't we do some improv? That would be so fun.
Like we need to make a list of the things we want to try, and then when we're doing lava or over at Jason's or out in the desert or any of these places,
Remember what you called it?
Crave the Brave?
if it feels right, just pop up a camera and start shooting it. It doesn't have to be live. We can throw it up later as a side thing.
Okay.
maybe not.
It doesn't.
What do you
It
guys
could
think
be
about
like
it?
even like a
It's not like we
monthly
have
event.
5
you know, a
million
treat,
people tuning
like something
in
like that. We could,
live.
could we like
Yeah, yeah.
curate it for a
Those
month?
Okay,
Five
yes.
people
That's
tuning
a good
in
idea. That's what we
anyway
do. We take people up
till
there.
it's popped up later.
Maybe they go to the Haven.
We'll get- we'll
there's,
practice.
there's some potentials there. We need to make the lists though. All the things that we ought to be trying.
I do want to
It's a
do,
good
Ken and
list.
I were watching an improv where it looks like a wall but it's sideways. Remember that you have to
Oh,
lay
yeah.
sideways but pretend you're jumping over things. There's like 3 people in the scene.
Wasn't that
But
whose
you're
line
really
is it
moving-
anyway?
You're really moving on
Probably
your
is.
side. And but the camera's shooting straight down. So it looks like
It looks like it's on your screen. It looks
it's
so good.
so funny. Like trying to like fly across while they're trying to move their body on the ground. It was hilarious.
It was really good.
Improv also helps boost confidence. I think it helps get you out of
It's a form of role
out of
play.
your
Yeah,
comfort
it's-
We wanted to do that for
I
our
love-
Crave the Brave Day, where we wanted to end the day where we're going to do a skydiving, go do a cold plunge, like a nice good 10-minute sit in the river, and then everybody comes back and learns how to laugh at themselves by everybody being willing to go like, everybody's on the mic.
That sounds like an amazing day.
improv.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crave
Like
the
an
Brave.
amazing
We
day.
call it Crave the Brave, and it was an all-day adventure where then it would probably be best to just like stay the night at some badass place and hang out the whole next day together, just chilling.
Well,
Never
start,
done.
we'll
For the more
start
rich.
mapping that out, and then you could probably get sponsors for some stuff like that.
I'd be in.
Let's help me find the sponsors link. Let's do it.
Well, what are the things that you want to do? If skydiving's included, maybe go talk to them and see.
Yes,
yeah.
I've already done
Yeah.
that, and the ones up here don't budge on pricing. I did a video for Wasatch way down in Nephi. So if we want to go to Topaz, here we do. Let's do this in conjunction with a trip to Topaz. We can do maybe like we can do some like hang gliding. Can you hang glide from Topaz or paraglide?
It'd be tricky. It's,
I don't know. Does anybody? Is that not a popular area for any of that?
It's not a very windy place. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think I'd want to hang glide.
I mean, it'd be a cool place to skydive
It's
into.
like, that's like.
It is pretty
If
dangerous.
you have people in gear
It was
waiting
cool,
there,
I'm
you
not
can
gonna lie,
skydive,
it was
camp
cool as
out,
hell,
hit
yeah.
Baker Hot Springs. It's 40 minutes down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 40 miles. It's more minutes.
Oh,
than
you're
those
right.
roads.
No, that's a great idea. We could go down to the Meadows Hot Springs right
Baker.
afterwards, huh?
Baker's 40 miles down the road.
Or Baker.
Meadows is like, yeah,
All right,
another,
this sounds like a
another
fun
hour
trip.
and a
Let's
half
plan,
after
let's
that.
plan this. We got lots of stuff to plan, y'all. We just need to plan it. All right, what's next? Are we all done? Did we turn ourselves off?
Yeah, we could probably end there. Look at us getting COZSNUG and planning for the future.
We got to that point where we're like, hey, now what do we want our story to look like? We just described it.
Yeah, there's the first steps.
There you go.
Some
Yeah,
of them.
so what is it all again? It's
Or early
improv.
steps. Oh, for
all the
we'll
pieces.
clear up ourselves up.
yeah,
I love this.
Yeah, because it's like I like the Crave the Brave model.
Yeah.
We just need to
But-
like
exactly.
start implementing that for other package sort of experiences.
Yeah. I like that.
All right.
They're
Cool.
about addressing or
And one of those
issues
packages
or embracing
includes-
qualities.
A surrender experience in a hot air balloon.
No, because you could create a bunch of
A surrender
different
bungee
packages with all these
All you gotta do is
different
start
needs
writing down
and-
qualities
Oh my god!
and start writing down
Right.
issues and
Yeah.
say, all right, how do we make a day out of this?
You're right.
Oh, yeah, this is a
And-
good idea.
That's how we did it for that day.
That's how I wrote my book. I was just like, what are the things people need to like have a common understanding of these words, and the ones that are hard to understand, or people have misconstrued ideas about.
Yeah.
I just wrote those down. Those are my chapters.
Yeah. Yeah, like here's a few gaps. Let me go ahead and fill in some spaces. I see some missing words here in society.
Some words that are totally not. And this is, coming from an institutionalized environment, is the language there is so bastardized and illiterate and just like nonsensical that it's just,
Yeah.
that it's hard to take anything serious that's said in there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, seriousness is demanded because
Right.
of the nature of the beast. Is like it is the most just juxtaposed and oxymoronic existence.
Everyone only knows false empowerment.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the whole entire-
not everyone.
No.
There's a couple, but like you have to go find them. Like.
Oh, right. So like anomalies that are lying outliers that are
Yeah.
they already holding their own in there. Oh, look at that fat cat. COZSNUG. Ass. Randy, he is so cute right there right now. He's so fat and
Guys.
cute.
Well, thank you everyone so much for coming tonight. It was a beautiful conversation. You're all such beautiful people.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
us.
Ash. Love you all.
This is still part of my Thursdays are the best day of the week package.
Nice.
Awesome.